What if the most powerful man in the empire wasn't the emperor, but a soldier torn from everything he loved? Welcome to the channel. If you're passionate about legendary characters, powerful storytelling, and hidden meanings behind iconic films, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our deep dives into the greatest characters in cinema history. Today, we explore the story of Maximus Decimus Meridius, a man who became a slave, then a gladiator, and ultimately, a legend. Maximus Decimus Meridius is more than a loyal general of Rome. He is a devoted husband and a loving father. His life is defined by war, yet his heart belongs to his family and the ideals of a greater Rome. Even though he never lived in the city, Maximus believed deeply in what Rome stood for. To him, Rome was not just a place. It was an idea, a beacon of light that rose above mere streets and monuments. It symbolized its people, its legacy, and the power of unity across the vast Roman Empire. He once said he had fought across many lands, in places where cruelty, savagery, and human darkness ruled, but Rome, to him, was the light of paradise. More than that, it was a guiding star, a lighthouse leading humanity away from barbarity and back toward civilization. To Maximus, Emperor Marcus Aurelius was not merely a ruler. He was a true leader, a wise guide who could steer the empire through its many storms. And historically, Rome had weathered many. Despite periods of civil war, tyrannical rule, and political upheaval, the empire stood tall, like a giant that refused to fall. After the reign of Emperor Antoninus, Marcus Aurelius's empire again faced serious threats: border wars in the north and east, political instability, and widespread disease across Europe. Maximus knew this was when Rome needed him most. So, he offered his life to serve the empire, becoming its sword and shield. But Maximus did not fight just for glory or conquest. He fought out of love for his homeland, and from his deep respect and loyalty toward Marcus Aurelius, the emperor he admired above all. Even after being betrayed by Commodus, losing his family, his status, and his freedom, Maximus never gave up. His loyalty to Rome and to the ideals of Marcus became the force that kept him alive. It drove him to rise from the ashes and challenge the tyrant who had stolen everything from him. His rebellion was not merely personal. It echoed the cries of a suffering people. It lit a fire in the darkness, guiding Rome back to its former glory. In the opening scenes of Gladiator, when Maximus walks past his soldiers, every man salutes or bows. This is in stark contrast to Commodus, who, despite being royalty, inspires no real respect, only empty gestures forced by duty. Soldiers bowed to Maximus, not out of obligation, but out of genuine honor. Maximus understood that no one wins a war alone. He cared for his soldiers like brothers. It's rare to see a general of such high rank personally lead the cavalry into battle. Just the sight of Maximus charging ahead inspired his men to follow without hesitation. To them, his name was not just that of a leader. It was a symbol of strength, a promise of survival. Even when stripped of his title and made a slave, the other gladiators still showed him deep respect. They knew that if Maximus fought beside them, they had a real chance to live. For those who walked the fine line between life and death every day, Maximus became their guiding light, their hope. To them, Maximus meant more than Rome itself. Even Emperor Marcus Aurelius saw this. In one scene, as he and Maximus passed through rows of troops, the men cheer not for the emperor, but for the general, testament to the admiration he inspired. Maximus didn't just lead them to victory. He also visited wounded soldiers, while others changed into fine clothes to celebrate. Maximus remained in his bloodied armor, standing apart from the politicians and power-seekers who treated war as a means to riches and fame. When asked by Marcus how long it had been since he'd seen his family, Maximus answered instantly. His longing was palpable. In that brief moment, by the flickering firelight, his eyes gleamed with pride and joy as he spoke of his wife and son. He described his modest home with simplicity and affection. A man who had given most of his life to war, Maximus now yearned only for peace and reunion. He had fought for Rome's safety, hoping there would one day be no more enemies left to conquer. Tragically, the last enemy he had to face came not from the battlefield, but from within the empire he swore to protect. In one deeply emotional moment, his loyal servant Cicero secretly gives him a small statue of his wife and child. Maximus's eyes fill with tears. In those final moments of life, his pain is softened by memories of love. His vision of the afterlife is a peaceful home on a hill, where his family waits for him. Though a warrior, a general, and leader of the mighty Felix Legion, Maximus was always, at his core, a husband and a father. Before each battle, he would kneel to touch the earth, his way of grounding himself, connecting to the land he loved and swore to protect. That soil represented family, home, and peace. It was his ritual, a symbol of purpose. One day, he would return to the earth and become dust again, but not before fighting for the peace that his people and his family truly deserved. Maximus was more than a gladiator. He was the embodiment of honor, duty, and sacrifice. His journey reminds us that even in the darkest times, one man's integrity and love can change the fate of an empire. Maximus was more than a gladiator. He was the soul of Rome. If this video moved you, leave a comment below with your favorite moment from Gladiator, or let us know which character you'd like us to break down next. Like, share, and subscribe to help us bring more cinematic legends back into the spotlight. And remember, what we do in life echoes in eternity.